Hey folks, I'm back at it again, working on this crane. So, I was talking with the Council of Nerds, and originally I was just going to do this piece here of angle iron and have the trolley, which is over there. Wheels are going to roll on this bit, and I was going to just lag bolt this in temporarily and then reinforce it later. But I thought more about it, and because this is a L shape like that, if I'm putting all the force over here, it's going to be like a pry bar and pull those lag bolts out. So I got some of this smaller angle iron and reinforced it so that both sides are pushing on each other and it can't fold down. The other concern was this might be too thin, so I went and got a thicker gauge piece of angle iron. Now that being said, we're only going about 1 inch into the bottom of the board here, and if I'm doing this all at the same spot with these lag bolts, what it's going to do under weight is separate the grains of the wood. So I didn't want all of the weight in that small amount of wood on the bottom. Beneath the halfway point here, as we were talking about compressive and tensile strength, this is the tensile region where it's pulling apart, and up here is going to be the compressive region. So I thought about doing this in the first place anyways, to stiffen the top of it in the compressive region. If I take the load and, shift the load-bearing part from here at the bottom to the top and don't compromise the grains of the wood, I'm going to be pulling on the tensile region, which is much stronger, or on the compressive region, which is much stronger than the tensile region. So that's what I'm going to do. I have a piece of 1/4 inch or 5/16, I forget which one it is, bar, flat plate that I'm going to be welding on these X's. We're going to put 4 of them along here to try to evenly distribute the weight to this top section, which is going to take the weight and evenly distribute it across this whole beam instead of just one spot. If I would, just put the straps, butt weld them on, and then screw those in with lag bolts, we would kind of have the same thing here. This is a much better design because if the trolley is right over top of one of those vertical pieces, all of the weight will go up the vertical piece and be distributed across this piece of angle iron. Now the other thing too that I thought about, and don't do this, it's not safe. If it's being pulled together or pulled down, these two pieces of angle iron might separate. So that being said, it's not going to be a very huge force doing that. It'll be a pretty minor one. I have some of this left over. I'm going to do this again on the top to hold the top from coming apart. On the bottom there to stop it from coming together, and on the top it's to hold it from coming apart. So that's what I'm going to get to doing. I'm not really going to be showing you guys the welding job. One, because I suck. I just bought a welder to mess around with. I saw it extremely cheap on the clearance rack at Harbor Freight. Most people wouldn't buy that. Turns out it's a pretty decent welder, at least for what I know about welding, which isn't much. Here's some of the welds. I had to go back over them a couple times because, again, I don't really know what I'm doing. And you know what they say, grinder and paint. I'm probably not going to be painting this, but they look like pretty decent welds. I watch a lot of Chucky 2009 videos, so I'm a welding expert, Not really. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not going to show you my welding because, 1, I suck, and 2, probably not doing it the right way, so I don't want you guys to learn my bad habits. I'm teaching myself. And 3, I don't know what my camera can hold, as far as light capacity, so I don't want my camera staring at welds. So I'm going to do that, and then you guys will see what I'm talking about when I'm done. So I'm going to pause this and get working on that. Oh yeah, so I clamped it all up nice and snug. Don't want anything loose. I want, as soon as weight gets put on it, for it to immediately feel the metal, if you will, the stiffening. So got it nice and clamped, all four corners in all four directions. This piece on the bottom had a slight bow because I was welding on the one side of it, but the clamps and a hammer took it right out. How I did that was I clamped up the pieces of the rail pieces first, and then individually tacked on these guys, just so it held it in place. So when I pulled it off the clamps, it actually held itself up, and I had to pull it off pretty hard, which is fantastic. It's nice and snug. So yeah, once I tacked it up, took it down and welded it up where it was easier. This should be easy. Not so bad. That would have been hard because it would be, you know, upside down welding, and I'm just starting out doing this stuff. So, you know, besides this, I've done a couple bead pads, pad of beads, and they weren't too good. So, kind of learning as I go there. All right, I'm gonna get to this, and we'll come back in a bit. Yeah, so this is the bar that I'm using, the flat plate. Pretty sure it's 1/4 inch. Maybe it's 1/8, I don't know. But yeah, I have it marked out every 5 inches. Gonna do, how many is that? 6 pieces total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces total. And then these extra little pieces on the end. So these last pieces here, little 1 1/4 inch pieces, are the inside of the rail pieces on the crane already. So what I'm going to do is cut out these little pieces and put it on the inside at the ends, kind of to cap off the edges of the rails to make a bump stop, so that under load the whole trolley doesn't roll off the end of the rail, which would be horrible. And I'll have a nice little piece at the end. Actually, that's it for this video. I gotta go run some errands. So I'll see you guys in the next one.